Hi guys, are you ready to dive into the deep waters of some psychological horror? Listen into my excerpt from my new novel, Graphic, the book I wrote this week for Author vs. AI. Here's a sampling from chapter 1. Before he saw it, Malik never wondered what a skull looked like when it was cracked open like a dropped coconut. The closest thing he could compare it to was a 3D Jackson Pollock painting, with the squishy insides of the brain case strewn in all directions. Underneath the head was brown, shit-colored carpet that appeared as if it belonged in the era of bell-bottoms and headbands, and the yarn-like strands were smeared with brick-red blood and flesh-colored chunks. If his mom ever saw this picture, she would completely freak out. Malik uploaded the image onto his client's website and made it live. "Anything else?" he typed into the chat. "Maybe tomorrow," came the response. After he read it, the message disappeared. He'd built the horror-themed website for his new client from the ground up, with very exacting specification on the guy's part. Everything from creepy music playing in the background to a red and black color scheme. It was a bit of an unusual subject for Malik. Most of his clients ran pretty boring businesses, and they had him design their pages in variations of sky blue and taupe. But unlike some of his customers, this new client paid well and promptly, so he wasn't really complaining. It was just a very niche type of subject matter that he hadn't seen so far on the job. Then again, he'd created this business last spring as a concept piece for a school project. The work had ballooned from there. He hadn't even needed to advertise. He was thinking after his senior year in high school that he might hire a few of his friends and expand, since he was almost at the point of turning away clients because it was cutting into his school time. If there was one thing his parents had always emphasized, it was that education came first. He didn't really disagree, but it was hard to say no to people who wanted to throw hundreds of dollars at him. Right now, all that money was being squirreled away, but he had plans, big plans. His mother opened his bedroom door as she usually did, without knocking. He shut his laptop quickly before she got a glimpse of the website he had been building. "What's up?" His guilty tone went unnoticed, or ignored. "Dinner in 5 minutes," she said. "Thanks, Mom." She smiled at him, then closed the door quietly behind her. Malik had just sent out his college applications, but he wasn't so sure anymore about his choices. It was hard to study for a computer sciences degree when it meant turning down paying work. What if he lost momentum and clients during those 4 years away? It didn't make sense to him to abandon a good gig for an uncertain future. He was prepared to present his case tonight when his dad got home from work. There was a lot riding on convincing his parents that putting a pause, as he would phrase it, on his education after senior year would work out for the best. If he could get his business running efficiently after a year and hire several workers to keep it going, he could be part-time rather than full as he was now. "Burning the candle on both ends," his father liked to say. God, such an old-fashioned statement. Not frickin' geezer level, although not far off. He opened up his laptop again and saw that there was a message waiting for him in chat from his new client. Malik had been skeptical at first when the person had reached out to him anonymously, but the money had turned out to be real enough. He wondered if the guy was a celebrity getting his twisted kicks in, and that's why everything was being done incognito. But when he clicked on the chat, he wasn't sure what happened. A picture flashed up on the screen for maybe a second, and then self-destructed. It was of a woman, girl, whose mouth was wide open in a scream. There were shallow cuts across her face, and her eyes had rounds of white around her pupils. Terrified. The odd thing was, he felt like he almost recognized her. He couldn't be sure, though, because the image had come and gone so fast. "What was that?" he typed, and then waited for the guy's response. The cursor blinked at him, but no answer appeared. The guy was in incognito mode, so Malik couldn't tell if he were still online or had already logged off. He tried one more time. "You want me to post the image? If so, please resend. I couldn't save it." Blink, blink, blink. He tapped his fingers on the keys in a fluttering rhythm, but no message appeared to answer his questions. "Malik," he heard from the kitchen, his mom's voice. Shrugging, he closed his laptop again. This would have to wait until later. The first step taken. He couldn't know. Not yet. Not until later. Later. the real fun would begin. It's just the start of what will turn into a nightmare game of cat and mouse for Malik. Will Malik discover who his client is before he becomes the feature of their next photo spread? For my book next week, I'm entering into a brand new genre that I haven't tackled yet for Author versus AI. The plan is to have it end up as a multimedia project, which is very exciting. Stay tuned tomorrow.